It is Thursday, November 7th. Here's what we're working on this morning. Faced with a sweeping rejection by voters, Kamala Harris concedes the presidential election to Donald Trump.
Canadian government is shutting down TikTok's office over national security risk. We have Simone in this story today.
And Rachel Gunn, Ray Gunn, is retiring from competitive braking. How are you?
Hey.
Good. It's been a busy morning. We haven't even had a chance to even say hello.
Yeah, one of those busies, just kind of working away like little bees on the or hamsters on the wheel, getting the show all ready for you. Got a good little show for you today. There's Brian Wood. How you feeling today, Brian?
Getting better.
Yeah.
Voice is coming along.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I'm not squeaking anymore like I was a little bit yesterday.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's coming. Thank you.
Cool. Okay. So we're is the real warm stuff in our rear view?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Actually, we did break a record yesterday.
Again?
But by 0.1 of a degree, so it was that close.
That's 2 days in a row then, right?
Yeah, two days in a row. Yeah, we got to 19.1 yesterday. The old record was 19 back about 1975. But today, noticeably cooler. Our temperature right now is sitting at 10 degrees, so at least we're double digits, way above seasonal to start a day. But today we'll climb to 12 degrees. There's a slim chance of a shower this morning, only a 30% chance of a shower, then sun clouds and clearing with lovely sunshine later on today. More sun for tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Quick check on traffic. Nothing to see. 403 Waterdown Road. The Hamilton area is doing fine. Niagara, no problems. We do have, let's see, that's our exclusive camera, the 403 on Waterdown Road. We do have one problem in Halton. It's heading through Burloak. The camera is just east of Burloak, looking toward Brodie Road. As you can see, it's a disabled vehicle. It's kind of blocking the right lane there, as you can see. Mainly, it's a visual distraction. That's about it, and that's the only problem that we have so far this morning. Everything else is moving fairly nicely so far. We'll keep our eye on that, and we'll look at the weather and traffic situation in detail coming up in a few minutes. Right now, the news.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, the White House says U.S. President Joe Biden has spoken with President-elect Donald Trump, congratulating him on his election win. An official says Biden expressed his commitment to ensure a smooth transition and emphasized the importance of working to bring the country together. He also invited Donald Trump to meet with him at the White House. A specific date will be worked out. Meantime, Kamala Harris has officially conceded the election, calling Donald Trump as well to offer her congratulations.
So let me say, my heart is full today. My heart is full today, full of gratitude for the trust you have placed in me, full of love for our country, and full of resolve. The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for. But hear me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright.
Biden also spoke with Vice President Kamala Harris and congratulated her on her historic campaign. Biden is set to make a statement from the White House about the election at 11 o'clock this morning.
Okay, let's bring this back to Canada because there was an evening chat between the Prime Minister and the U.S. President-elect. They touched on trade, supply chains, and security. A statement from the Prime Minister's office says that they agreed to stay in close contact. Canada could face significant impacts if Trump imposes his planned 10% tariffs on goods from outside the U.S. The Canadian Chamber of Commerce report estimates the tariffs could cost Canada $30 billion annually. Meanwhile, Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland downplayed concerns about the potential tariffs.
The deal that we now have that governs our economic relationship with the United States is Donald Trump's deal. He signed it. He and his team negotiated it. He is proud of it, and I think he's right to be proud of it. The deal does something very new in trade deals, which is it focuses on guaranteeing a fair wage for workers. And that is something that Canada and the U.S. were able to do together.
Meantime, Trump has also claimed he would not defend NATO members that do not meet defense spending targets, something Canada is not doing. Trudeau promised to meet the target of spending the equivalent of 2% of GDP on defense by 2032.
Federal government has ordered TikTok to shut down its Canadian business operations because of national security risks. Simone Gavros joins us now with more on this story. And this doesn't mean that it's going to be TikTok shutting down completely, right?
Annette, that's correct. So the government just stopped short of ordering people off the app entirely. So Canadians still have access to TikTok. They can still create content on there, but this just adds to that growing security concerns when it comes to the app itself. Now, Canada's Industry Minister, François-Philippe Champagne, he made this announcement yesterday, and he said that the decision was based on the information and evidence collected over the course of a multi-step national security review process. Now, TikTok has already been at the center of privacy and safety concerns here in Canada, in the U.S., and by the European Union. There are fears that the app could be used to collect data on Western users or push misinformation. Now, people will still have access to the app itself, but they're encouraged to adopt good cybersecurity practices while online when it comes to how their information is being used. Now, media experts are saying that the lack of information about what led to the decision from the government is concerning. TikTok says they plan to challenge this order in court. They responded to the government shutdown saying, quote, shutting down TikTok's Canadian offices and destroying hundreds of well-paying local jobs is not in anyone's best interest, and the shutdown order will do just that. Now, there's no word on when the Canadian business operations are required to stop, but we've reached out to a media consultant this morning for more on what this means for TikTok here in Canada, and I'll also be getting local reaction as well. For now, something's back over to you, Annette.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, the woman accused in 3 murders last month in Niagara, Hamilton, and Toronto has made a brief court appearance. Sabrina Koldar is charged in the death of her Toronto roommate on October 1st and the random killings of 2 men in Niagara Falls and Hamilton in the 2 days that followed. Koldar has had her case adjourned to later this month. She's set to have a mental health assessment November 20th. The following week, her case will return to court to check on the status of that assessment. Hamilton City Council has delayed a proposal to ban homeless encampments in city parks. The motion, which was introduced by Mountain Councillor Esther Pauls, was postponed until next year after a lengthy debate. The plan would have prohibited encampments in parks as the city gets ready to expand shelter options and provide space for tiny homes.
I don't want to paint everybody the same, but what I hear, there's a lot of drugs. There's a lot of crime, there's a lot of needles, and people come up to me and say they can't enjoy the parks. I know everybody has a right to live. Everybody has a right to have a house, but also the rights of people that are housed. They have a right to enjoy their backyard.
The danger of doing something like this without having proper evidence to back it up would be that we'd be chasing people from park to park to park with nowhere for them to go. What the councillors who want to bring these motions forward need to do is show up with solutions to the problem, not just continually say no, no, no.
Now, people who support the homeless spoke out against the ban, calling it cruelty for the sake of optics and warning that it would push people into hiding rather than providing real solutions. After an extended in-camera session, Hamilton Mayor Andrea Horwath moved to delay the decision, citing concerns over a potential lawsuit. 3 councillors opposed the deferral. It passed, though, and the issue is now postponed, as we said, until next year.
Into Sportsline, and the NBA back in action after taking that night off for the election on Tuesday. Raptors on their longest road trip of the season after dropping a tough one to Denver on Monday, facing their former pal, DeMar DeRozan, who they just beat on Saturday night at home. But DeMar got his revenge.
DeRozan, 18 points. And the foul.
Dominating performance in the fourth quarter by DeMar and his Kings. That proved to be the difference in this one. DeRozan would finish with 28 points and has scored at least 20 in all of his team's games to set a franchise record in his first year with the club. Toronto was leading, heading towards the final frame, but we're outscored 33-14, and the 122-107 was the final. It seems to be a trend in the early part of the season. They just don't have any finish. RJ Barrett led the way with 23, who are winless on the road. The Raptors are. Next up, they visit the sparkling new Intuit Dome and the Clippers on Saturday.
5 seconds to go. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the run. The shot was blocked by Peyton Watson, and the Nuggets have won.
OKC Thunder undefeated no longer. Hamilton's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's game-tying shot was blocked by Peyton Russell at the buzzer, and the Nuggets came back to beat OKC 124-122. SGA would finish with 28 points. Was hoping for 30, but didn't happen. That leaves Cleveland as the only unbeaten team in the association. They won again last night, and they're 9-0 to start the year. Closer to home on the ice in Brantford for a rare Wednesday night game, and things are not going well for the Bulldogs right now, and they got stormed in by a Guelph team who are at the bottom in the OHL standings. The Dogs would drop a fourth straight game, 4-1 to Guelph. They hope to turn things around against those other Dogs, the Ice Dogs, who they have dominated the past few years. But Niagara, they're having a different kind of season. They're in top spot in the East, and they host Erie tonight.
Barbashev won the battle. Hit Hannafin. Shot, score!
In Edmonton, Connor McDavid returned to the ice, but the Vegas Golden Knights, they ruined the parties. They would score 3 times in the final 10 minutes, 2 of them by Noah Hannafin, including that winner right there with under a minute to go. And Vegas leaves town with a 3-2 win. McDavid came back earlier than many thought after an ankle injury. Kept him out for a little bit. He was kept off the score sheets. Not a good start to the rivalry series for our women's hockey team, facing the USA in San Jose to start their annual series. Canada's fallen behind 3-0 the past 2 seasons, only to come back and win both years. They're going to have to play from behind again. The States would score 5 times in the first period to chase Canadian keeper Kristen Campbell from the net. 7-2 the final. Hamilton's Sarah Nurse scoring one of those goals. Game 2 in the series goes Friday from Utah. And finally, 2 more sleeps from the CPL finals happening Saturday afternoon from Calgary and Forge FC. Back in the big game for a 6th straight season. They were sent off to a hero's farewell from their fans yesterday outside Tim Hortons Field. Hammers face Cavalry FC, who they beat in last year's final, and going for a 5th title and 3rd in a row. Tonight, the CPL awards take place with 3 Forge players, Kyle Becker, Tristan Borges, and Alessandro Hodrabapor, up for Player of the Year honors.
Good morning. 12 minutes after 6 o'clock, and we've got this Thursday morning going for us here. We'll look at the forecast in detail coming up right now. Look at traffic getting slow already here at the 403 and Waterdown Road, and it's just building volume. No collisions in the Hamilton area at the moment. And you can see it's really slowing down at the moment. Let's go to our MTO traffic cameras. We still have that disabled vehicle. It's Toronto-bound lanes at the QEW just past Burloak, so east of Burloak. That's where the camera is. As you can see, it's blocking the right shoulder, right lane block through there. But, volume still fairly light. Back into St. Catharines, nothing going on east of Lake. Looks good at the Red Hill Creek still. No problems at the 403 junction with the QEW. East of Royal Windsor is a little slow. Pretty much the same thing at Etobicoke Creek. So not a lot happening so far today. Take it carefully, please. Let's look at our temperature. Our temperature has just fallen by a degree. We're now sitting at 9 degrees. Now, 9 is still a seasonal daytime high, so we're still pretty mild. That wind is picking up a little bit. It is a cloudy sky at the moment. So for today, for school, 12 degrees should be the high. Now, this morning, there is a slim chance of a shower. It's only 30%. Otherwise, it'll be a sun-cloud mix, and then skies will clear later on today with lots of sunshine. So there's that bit of instability right now. But later on, that ridge of high to the west is going to clear up the skies, give us some sun, fairly clear tonight. Tomorrow, again, lovely sunshine as that high pressure dominates. So today, our temperatures, 12 to 13 degrees. So we're coming down. Yesterday, 19, so a little bit cooler for the temperature today. 14 for Toronto. That shower activity is a slim chance early in the morning. Tonight, skies will be clear. Temperatures a touch cooler still, 6, 7, and 8 degrees. And then tomorrow, in the sunshine, we hang on to that sun tomorrow. Temperatures 11, 12, and 13. A mix of sun and clouds generally for the day tomorrow, but still a pretty nice day for this time of year. So stepping out the door, 7th of November, we have a fairly cloudy sky. The wind is picking up at the moment, as I said, gusting to almost 30 kilometers an hour, and our temperature right now is sitting at 9. And we'll check long range, of course, coming up. Annette, Tim.
Okay, right after the break, we are going to say good morning to Emily with a preview of what she's talking about in Chit Chat. And in business news, why healthcare spending is expected to rise even more this year. We are coming up on 6:17 on your Thursday morning, and Emily is here with a look at what's to come in Chit Chat.
Good morning. That's right. Well, we are going to be talking just a little bit about Christmas, just a touch. Only 2 stories out of the 3. I'm sorry, Tim. I know. But it's all over right now. And it's a good news stories. If you like Starbucks, the festive flavors, their new version are coming out, the new cups, You're thrilled. I get it. I understand. New version of White Christmas. Bing Crosby. I'm dreaming.
Well, of the song or of the movie?
Song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it includes a member of BTS. And later on this morning, we're going to be talking about Australia breakdancing. She's decided to retire.
Ray gun.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay, cool.
It's a good day.
Yeah, great. Can't wait.
It is. Okay, thanks very much. Taking a look at business news right now, the Canadian dollar is up 27 basis points. So it's basically gained what it lost yesterday at this time. Trading overseas right now at 71.94 cents US. Gold is down $6.50. Crude oil is down 41 cents to $71.28 a barrel. Let's check over in Europe. Midday trading markets are up just slightly in London. Up a bit more in Germany, and a little bit, 40 points in Paris.
Off to Asia we go. Markets are down in Tokyo, but up in Hong Kong and Shanghai. Okay, North American markets. Yeah. So, we knew the markets were we didn't actually know what was going to happen with the markets. Look at the Dow Jones on the results of the election of Donald Trump becoming the 47th president of the United States. All-time highs. Up over 1,500 basis points. Slight gains for the TSX and NASDAQ. But hey, let's see what they do today when markets open on this Thursday, November the 7th.
Well, healthcare spending in this country is expected to outpace the economy and reach a new high this year. The Canadian Institute for Health Information says total health spending is expected to hit $372 billion. That works out to a little more than $9,000 for every person in this country. Now, it's not unusual for health spending to outpace economic growth, but this report says this could be the case for the next several years because of Canada's growing and aging population. The report also notes that new federal dental and pharmacare plans could push healthcare spending even further as more people who couldn't afford those services before start using them.
Okay, off to BC we go because port employees there say they may have to reassess their position on an offer to over 700 unionized workers as the lockout really halts most shipping on the West Coast. The BC Maritime Employers Association has not engaged with the union or federal mediators since the lockout began back on Monday. Well, the final offer remains on the table, which includes a 19.2% wage increase over 4 years. Employers say it could change if the shutdown continues. Excuse me. Workers are concerned the offer does not address future staffing levels due to port automation.
Another interest rate cut could be coming in the United States today. The U.S. Federal Reserve is widely expected to cut its central rate by 1/4 of a point, its second rate cut in a row. This is in response to a steady slowdown in inflation. However, the future of the Federal Reserve itself is in question after the results of yesterday's election, or Tuesday's election. During his campaign, Donald Trump said that as president, he would have a voice in the central bank's interest rate decisions. The U.S. Federal Reserve is an independent institution that operates free from political interference.
Beyond Meats, they reversed a sales slide in its third quarter, growing revenue for the first time since 2022 as it charged higher prices for its plant-based meat. The California-based company said its revenue rose 7.6% to $81 million in the July to September period. That was higher than $80.1 million Wall Street was expecting. Beyond Meats said they saw a 7% decrease in the volume of products sold, but a 15, almost 16% increase in net revenue per pound. The company has been trying to rely less on discounting and positioning its newer, healthier burgers, sausages, and grounds as premium products.
Okay, taking a quick break right now. Brian is back with his full voice, traffic, and your 7-day forecast.
6:24 Thursday morning. Let's get you into traffic. QEW east of Burloak Drive. Disabled vehicle off to the right shoulder, right lane blocked through here. A heavy tow just pulled up a few minutes ago, so hopefully that'll get clear. That's the only problem that we have on the highways at the moment. Checking some of the other cams, QEW 7th and St. Catharines, nothing. That camera was just there. East of Burloak, so was that camera. Look at Dundas Street here. It's the 403 at Dundas. You can see some rain on the camera lens at the moment, getting some light shower activity. Also in Hamilton, we've got a problem on Lawrence. Lawrence is closed east and westbound at Province Street South due to a collision there. Let's get to our temperatures that we have at the moment. We're sitting at 9 degrees in Hamilton, in Grimsby, in Mississauga. A little bit better for Toronto, sitting at 10 degrees at the moment. How about seasonals for this time of year? 9 for the daytime high. Keep in mind, we set a record yesterday again, 19.1 yesterday. That's how mild it was. 8 degrees for the daytime high now. Changed a little bit today. +1 for the overnight low. Sun times and records for today. And we will see some sunshine for the day today. For school today, 10 degrees for the first bell. There's that slim chance of a shower this morning, and then sunshine and 12 degrees for after school. So skies will start to clear. But there's that chance of showers this morning. 6 degrees overnight tonight, so even cooler tomorrow. 11 and sun, 7 and sun on Saturday, so a touch below seasonal all of a sudden. Showers on Sunday and Remembrance Day on Monday. Looks fairly nice for all the Remembrance Day ceremonies. Some sun, some clouds, and 10. That's your forecast. Annette, Tim.
Yeah, we always like it being nice on Remembrance Day for the
veterans outside. Yeah.
Well, and the Lancaster flyover.
Yes,
That's always a big one. Yeah, and we're going to be at the Warplane Heritage Museum, as we always are. Okay, before we get to the bottom of the clock, an unusual guest has appeared on a beach in Western Australia.
It's an emperor penguin, thousands of kilometers away from its home in Antarctica. One expert says it may have followed a current north to find food. The penguin was seen coming out of the water and waddling up to the beach. It then slid on its belly, probably thinking the sand was snow, and face planted before standing back up and shaking the sand off. Australia's Department of Biodiversity, Conservation and Attraction says the penguin was quite malnourished when it arrived, but is being cared for now. It's like, what? And why is this hot?
Well, I was going to say, I kind of feel bad for the little buddy because he's just like, hey guys, this way. Come on, follow me.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah.
And then he looks behind. Where is everybody?
He gets there. He's like, I guess they didn't follow me. Enter your own penguin pun here.
You don't have any?
None.
No, you're not going to waddle up with that one?
Tapped out.
Okay.
I'll leave it up to you.
I'm out.
Oh.
Stay with us. We've got more to come after the break.